rather than choose family. So this is the piece of code that moves on to the next family every time it chooses one. So if current family is family's end, it just loops around and then shows that family choice. But then we have an iterator, which is the current family. So when we hit choose family in the GUI, choose family, then we should do stuff. Now at the moment, I'll just leave that blank a moment. Probably what I'm going to do is start prototyping the UI for this. That's what I normally do. So if we just make sure that family choice is always visible, then we can see what it might look like when we actually choose a family. So let's have a think about how this might look. So I think I want to show different things here. So we have the mother and the father and home. But we don't get birth or anything yet. So basically we have to choose between two life stage options. So let's think about this. Put that back. Do that again. Okay, so the way that I'm going to do this is that when we step through a particular human, so what this method does is it steps 1 year for one person. The first thing it does, it checks to see whether or not they have a current life stage. Basically it means that if their life stage has expired, for example if they've now become an adult or they've gone to school for the first time, then it gives them a range of options. So we clear that stage and then we get the options, the generic options they can have, any particular jobs that are available, and then they choose one. So this is going to be a manual process for the player. It's automatic for normal people, but for the player it's going to be manual. So that means that every time I finish doing a step, what I need to do is I need to check to see whether or not our particular person has got a particular life stage that they, or no current life stage, and then fill it in before it has a chance to step through the next year for that person. So that means that, let's see. The code that does stepping is in WorldGen controller. That's there's a system step. No, not that one. History step. Yeah, so this is the thing that actually calls stepping, which is then calls it for every human that's alive. So basically, before we do this, we've got the new year. If we have a current human, then we need to do something different. So the first thing we need to do is generate the player based on that family. So the make baby, right, so we have babies, so that just checks to see whether or not we can have babies. Actually, that's poorly named. This returns the father. There's a mother and there's an eligible father. This really eligible person to have a baby with. Where else is this used in the code? Yeah, I'm going to rename that. That sounds crazy long name, but it's more descriptive. And to be honest, anything you can do to make code more descriptive is a very good thing. That's what I want. And then, where else have I got to go? It's done. No, that's the original name. Okay, I'm just going to run that, build in the background to sort that change out. I'll make sure I change. I've got to save everything. Okay. Cool. So it's the make baby code that I need to do at this point, which is here. Now, where is that used? Just in the conception. Okay, so, and the conception, that's the thing that's added when we do a eligible person to have babies with. So inside the history, I think we add a new conception event, if I remember. Yes, here we are. So at this point, this is within step. If there's an eligible person to have babies with, we have a 12% chance of having a baby with that person at that point. So what we could do at this point, we're going to force the issue. We're not going to say it's a 12% chance. We're going to say you are going to have a baby. So we need to basically add a new conception method on the mother at that point. So we need to do basically conception father. Okay, that's built. That's cool. Apply to father, which is fine. We just do that. So while generation. Oh, the game's just loading. That's fine. Just finishing that change in the background. Okay. Right, so we just need to say conception. Let's just bang this in here for a moment. Conception father. So that's current family second, I guess. Apply to, so temporary object for that, apply to current family first. And then we need state history, the year, which is year, and out, which is going to be historical events. Now what this will do is it will create an historical event, some new historical events, which is great, which then get, I guess they'll get added into the history, but the point is that that's made a baby. Yeah, that needs to be thought through because it will then add it to. Yeah, we probably wanted to do that. And we also wanted to add the events, but we also want to grab a reference to the new baby and store it. And the other thing we want to do is all the historical events are added to the list. Okay, I'm just trying to find out where that happens. Possible new relationships, possible process, historical events. Right, so this is the thing that actually records the event. So actually, we need to do something like this. Move this into void history. So I'm just extracting a quick method here. I'll just record historical events. Const reference events, because I'm not going to touch that. And then, yeah, and actually, I know we do store them, so that's not. Okay, so we own them at this point. But that's okay, we own the events. And so we basically pass them in, which means that they are actually... let's see if that works. I'm not entirely convinced that's going to work. Historical events. Const events. Oh no, it's not const. Of course it's not. It's going to record stuff. Okay, so that's done that. Clashing with another name. Okay, so once that's happened, then we've recorded the events that we need, which is fine. Let's just build that as well in the background. And then we need the last baby, which is a bit rubbish. Do we have an access? We don't have any access to the babies at all. Yeah, and the other thing is that babies aren't added. They're added at the end, and we're not. That's not going to happen because we're not within a step. So this is going to create new babies in history, but it will add we will add them in the following step. But that's probably not what I want. The problem is this is all set up for doing it automatically, and doing it manually is that bit more tricky. So difficult to know. Do I need to just stuff it in the next turn? Is the first step won't actually do anything. It'll be born the following year. It isn't right. It needs to go in at this point. Merge Babies. Love that name. That's fine. Put that in there. Okay, so that puts the babies in at the right point. That's fine. And then I need the last baby before I do that. So I need human. Actually, probably play equals state history most recent baby. Human most recent baby. And actually, I can just return. That's easy enough because I can say baby's front or back. Back, I think. See, baby keys. Push back, yeah, so it's the back. Okay, so we've got that, and then we've merged babies. Brilliant. So if that's the case, now we've done all of that. Some bugs. Okay, let's just write that in. We've got that person, we can change the state of the GUI. Okay, so let's build that for a bit. Let's think about what's next. Okay, so once we've done that, we've got a player. Ooh, and one thing we haven't